live on camera. There was no camera tricks. There were no pausing. There's no camera. There's no pausing. What the heck, man? What? This is not staged. Welcome back to the Titanium Hanger. This is Mike, and today I want to talk to you about plastic-free packaging from Hasbro and kind of why it's more disappointing than I thought. I did not know it was going to be this bad. I did not know we were going to have this level of problems with it. I already pointed out a lot of the points. We're going to go over the main points that we already know about the plastic-free packaging. We're going to talk about why they're doing it, but I'm going to unbox Hank, and I'm right there, Hank, and I'm going to unbox Sergeant Slaughter over there, and I'm just going to kind of see how it's packed in there because that's part of the other problem. But we're going to go through this slew of issues that I didn't cover in my first video because I didn't know they'd be the issues coming up. First thing I do want to start this off, oddly enough, complimenting Hasbro for not changing the packaging on the retro figures or the vintage collection figures or these retro figures back here. I don't know if they plan to change that in the future or they're going to keep that going forward. But they did say they were going to keep this, but for how long? So we don't know. But I'm glad that they're keeping this because I wouldn't be buying any of these at all whatsoever, and I did not buy the Boba Fett one for $31 because I can't fathom one reason that I would want to buy it and put it in my collection because I'm never planning on opening 3.75 inch figures. I don't know why I'd want that Boba Fett, and I don't have it to show, but I have this guy that I got at Ollie's for $6. So the first issue that we're going to cover, and I kind of covered it before, but you don't get to see the figure. And oddly enough, this is going to be an issue for mint on card collectors, and it's also going to be an issue for loose collectors. But we're going to get into that in a whole different segment here. But when you look at it, I specifically picked the Sergeant Slaughter to compare. You just don't get to see the figure in it. Now, if this little bitty picture down here, or you get to turn it around and all of that kind of stuff, okay, yeah, but you don't get to see the figure. And walking down an aisle, which this was not on an aisle, but this one was, you have that whole impulse buy. The day I bought him, actually the day I bought any of these retro Marvels, because I don't collect Marvel, it was all impulse buys. And I saw this dude, I was like, oh, he looks so cool, and I've got the green one already, so I get the Hobgoblin, and that is so cool, and definitely an impulse buy. Then no impulse buy on a closed box. Now, I've impulse bought a couple more of the G.I. Joe classifieds because they look so good, and I saw them on the shelf and I was really excited about that, and that's pretty fun. But this kind of takes away from the whole impulse buy. Who really looks at this box and says, oh yeah, I want to get me some of that? So next up, I do want to say that I did impulse buy Spider-Man, and Spider-Man was probably my least favorite superhero. So I should make a whole video about that. I always tick people off when I say that. He's just not my favorite, but bad artwork. So I'm gonna go on record to say this artwork just is terrible. I do not like this artwork at all. I think it looks terrible, and it's not in line with the G.I. Joe classified. It doesn't make any sense why they're going this route, and they did some artwork on some other figures, and I'm just gonna leave some of them alone, but Zorana looks downright hideous. And is that gonna be the future Zorana artwork? So do-de-do-de-do, I'm collecting, and I'm setting up my shelves, and I'm getting everything put up and in order, and then, wait a second, what is this? What is this? That doesn't match. That doesn't look good. It's like no continuity in the line. So you could look at these. These have decent artwork. Not the artwork I'd want. I mean, we all know the artwork I want, and I would say this packaging's perfection, except for the fact it's not. It just gives you the feels, even though it does not hold up, and the bubble sucks, and the card is super thin, it's paper thin, but that's the artwork I want. But even without that modern artwork, this is fine. This looks good. This looks great. That doesn't match. What is that, out of the comics maybe? So if that is, okay, whatever. But where's Zorana's artwork coming from? Next up, we're gonna talk about figure swappers, and so I've already covered that in another video. And so let's just pretend that this is a toy aisle, right? And you've got Diana on the shelf, and you're like, man, I heard about this figure, and I see that this is not a model kit. Okay, because it kind of looks like a model kit. It's actually an actual action figure because I heard about it and it got reviewed on some Toy Bro or something. So yeah, I got to see that. So So that's pretty cool. So then you get in here and you go, okay, let me go ahead and buy it, but let me inspect and see. Wait, I've got a little ding in mine. Well, I got mine from Amazon, by the way. There's a little something going right here. Maybe it has been opened and resealed. How do I know? Let me shake it. I'm sorry. Did you hear that? That doesn't make any sense. Hold on a second. In my mind, let me shake it. I don't really hear much rattling around in a Spider-Man, but why is that rattling in there? I can't wait to open one of these and see exactly what's going on in there. But figure swapping, how are you supposed to know if it's been figure swapped or not? How are you going to find this stuff out unless you open it? And so that's going to roll us into Mint on card collectors. Card collectors have two options. Either they completely quit collecting and they just put it in the past. It was a thing I did back in the day. Or they buy it and not enjoy it at all. Or they switch and convert to loose collectors. Once you've opened this up for any capacity, you are a loose collector. Once you've cut the tape and you've opened up a sealed figure, you are no longer a mint on card collector. And how are you going to derive joy from, we don't even know if this is a prototype. Is it a digital render that's on there? We don't know. Notoriously, Hank does not match his picture. Notoriously. Every review I saw, I see that it does not match the picture. Although it's a good looking figure, it still doesn't match the picture. So you have no idea what's in there and all that kind of stuff. Mint on card collectors will not be able to enjoy the hobby anywhere near where they used to, or probably not at all. The other thing about this is, if it was figure swapped or not figure swapped, 10 years from now, if somebody's wanting to track a set of these down, how do they know sealed in the package really what they're getting in the package until they get it and open it? Now, there's a lot of issues, So Hasbro's going a little bit different route with their Transformers. As you can see with the Transformers, they like to put an open box situation here. So this has a couple of issues. First of all, you can get to the figure and feel on it. There's dust in there. When I made my previous video, I didn't have any of these on hand for my video. So these are the smaller ones, and really I just wanted to get them all in one picture so you can see it, but I do have bigger ones that there's more issues. But I opened up a couple of these and I didn't realize that the accessories that were in there, and I bet you somebody that really wanted to could get them accessories out of there pretty easy. I mean, I'm reaching in and touching it, and I'm sure with enough time and effort, you could get those accessories. Just so many issues with an open box packaging. Yes, there's no plastic, or is there? There's plastic ties. That's a plastic tie. So it's plastic reduced. It's not actually plastic free, but it's plastic reduced, and they reduced the plastic that we wanted the most. So still a lot of issues to iron out, but I think Transformers got a little bit better deal in this, except for now that they're closing off the leaders, and who knows how long till they close off the Voyagers. So next up, I'm going to get back to an example. This is a real life in-store example with a picture I took at Target just the other day. It was taken in Reseda today. Anyway, this picture here shows on the left, you have, well, on the far left, you actually have those retro Marvel things, Marvel 3.75 inch that make no sense, but they are cool, and they're still keeping them that way. Then next to those, you have the Black Panther wave, and then on the right, you have, for the most part, the Hawkeye wave. Now, I want to say two things. The Black Panther, standing there looking at them, the Black Panther figures, the designs of them look pretty cool. But again, I don't know if it's a render or what's going to match, and I could barely really make out the picture, especially in that dark one. I couldn't make out any detail to it. I don't know exactly what it looks like. Looking at the picture, the box, I couldn't tell exactly what it looks like. But looking at the right, I think Hawkeye is like lame. And, you know, I got to say the actor, he had an accident, he's in the hospital, and I hope that he gets better. Best wishes to the actor, nothing against him. But the character himself, I think, is pretty darn lame. But looking at actually getting to see the figure, I almost had an impulse buy there, but I didn't. I held my own. But with this, like, this is eliminating the impulse buy almost entirely with this example. I just wanted to show it. What looks like more fun, what's on the right or what's on the left? Next, I'm going to talk about kids being affected by this. So I'm going to tell you right now, thinking back to Christmases, thinking back to birthdays, thinking back to going to the store, I remember seeing He-Man figures in this package with this bubble and all of this, and I think it looks awesome. I mean, I get so excited re-seeing this, and to say I got excited about it when I was a kid says that who says kids today don't get excited about actually seeing the figures, actually seeing this type of packaging. And almost everything we saw back in the day had some sort of a plastic to it, some sort of plastic window, whether it was a radio controlled car or whether it was Centurions and the way they did those packaging. Packaging's a big deal for selling, but it's a big deal to kids, and an even bigger deal to the parents buying it for the kids. They can actually see what they're buying. So with that, this is basically saying we don't expect any kids to buy any of this stuff that's in the closed box at all whatsoever, because it's not exciting. This is exciting. The next issues are paint apps and QC issues. Now, I've been hearing a slew of people having QC issues. Like, the quality has dropped way down on figures that are in this type of packaging. And it's also crossing into figures that are in standard packaging. It's like the QC's dropping. Some people theorize that they are doing this. We can get into why they say they're doing it, but some people theorize they're doing this to cover up the QC issues. But I think this is actually causing QC issues. And by the way, me rattling this around isn't giving it anything it's not getting shipped from 10,000 miles, or however far it comes from manufacturing to here. If it's in a case of them, there's nothing protecting the rattling around in there. Now with this, the paint apps, so when you get to inspect paint apps on these figures that have the plastic in it, and you can actually see what's going on in there, and so you can look up real close and you can say, okay, what are the paint apps? Now I actually don't do that, and I probably should, but every Marvel collector I know, I see them looking at 2 or 3 of the same one and trying to figure out which one has the best paint apps and all of that kind of stuff. And if they're loose collectors, if you're a loose collector, you want good looking paint apps. If you're a loose collector, you want to get the figure that you bought. If you're a loose collector, you don't want a figure swap. Loose collectors don't want to have to go return their stuff. And the other thing is, if you buy a figure that's been swapped, sometimes Walmart won't take it back. The guy who swapped it somehow snuck it by, but you didn't, or you were honest and said, look what happened. I am dying to get into this and see what's in here. Hearing all the rattling around. I'm only opening Hank because of the issues. I'm going to review all these when I get Vingar. So this is how easily it opens. All right, let's see what we got going on. We got a box. So it looks like it hasn't been opened or figure swapped or anything. Okay, so here's what we have in the box. And we're going to see, we've got a wax paper. So this is wax paper, just boring wax paper and stuff rattling around in there. Oh, look at this. Look at this. I did this live. I did this live, dude. No way. I did this live. Live on camera. There was no camera tricks. There were no pausing. There's no camera. There's no pausing. What the heck, man? What? This is not staged or this is stupid. I don't know if to call Hasbro or Amazon. She's a good looking figure though. She's a nice looking figure. It's not her fault. I'm sorry. It's not your fault. What the heck? I'm gonna heat up her joints if I'm gonna look. She comes out of the box looking like this. The foot's all to the side. She's been smashed around in there. It's not right. This just isn't right. So, do you think that the other one has Hank in it? Let's look. Let's look. Let's not pause it. Gosh. I'm going to have to have some sort of video evidence for a return or something. Now I'm going to be Hankless. This is so ridiculous. All right, we're opening Diana now. This is ridiculous. What does Diana have in there? Watch it be Hank. If it's Hank, I'll be okay. If it's Hank, 2 Dianas. I got 2 Dianas. Well, at least I get to pick which one I like the best. Let's at least Now this one here actually looks like she's in better condition. Let's back this out a little bit. Wow, this is terrible. But yeah, she seems to be in better condition, and she's the one that actually was packed. So was she figure swapped with a Hank? because that would be crazy. That would just be downright crazy. Wow. Well, let me at least open up this stupid packaging here. Can Hasbro suck anymore? I'm so sick of this. Alright, we gotta die. I'm not gonna be reviewing her or anything, but this is so frustrating. So here's my team so far. Bobby's missing a die. He's missing the 12-sided die. All I have is, well, I have 2 of these 21s that came with Diana. I left the other one in Hank's box, but you can see I have Bobby, Diana, and Hank's box. This is terrible. Let's open up Sergeant Slaughter and see what's going on. This will be a better experience. I guarantee it. Oh, wow. I can't believe that they put a whole different figure in there. I mean, I've heard of some crazy stuff, but let's see this. And it's Sergeant Slaughter. Good job. Good job, Sergeant Slaughter. Being Sergeant Slaughter. Now he has some of those paper ties that are in there. And I wonder if you could bump the camera. Can you untie the paper ties? Like, min box collectors like me like that kind of stuff. But we're going to cut it. We're going to cut it. I'm not going to worry about putting him back in his box. But live unboxings. I was planning to do live unboxings just so you can see how it's set up. Not a gotcha moment, but they got me moment. It's a they got me moment for sure. Crazy. All right, let's see what's going on with this. He's gonna need some. All of these they come out with their feet all janky and messed up because they're bouncing around. Well, he wasn't bouncing around in there, but they were bouncing around in theirs. So let's see what he comes with in this. It's like a Foot Locker thing. There's plastic in the tape, by the way. You're not plastic free, guys. Plastic in the tape. Oh, wow. So he's got this little baggie here, and then you've got this. Let's see, plastic in the tape. Now it's more wax paper, just like they feel the same. They feel exactly the same. So the print on it is kind of a nice touch, but okay, his gun just fell out of there. So his rifle. So he's got a lot of weapons, accessories, and stuff. Let's see, where's my little action figure that's supposed to go with him? Supposed to have like a little built-in action figure. Is that in this? Little mini him, mini me. Now I don't know how you're gonna open this without shredding it. And you got all this. So got all of his stuff in here. What else is in? What's in this? Let's see if we can get that out of there. Whatever this is. Oh, this is glasses. And then we've got in here. We got his baton. I guess that's to hold on to his hand. And then his whistle. So, all right, pretty straightforward. Let's see. Here he is. He looks pretty good. He comes with a slew of accessories. Everything seems to be in here, including the minifigure. And nothing appears to be broken or damaged. And went ahead and threw that clip on there right away just so I don't lose it. And all this good stuff. And he does have this piece here, which I forgot what it was. A microphone, a detonator, something. Anyway, he does look okay. I'm not going to review the guy, but I'm going to put him next to this one here. It's like a WW something or another. WW something version, which is a little bit bigger, but I'm surprised that this guy's not way bigger than him. So they made this guy a pretty good size. It looks pretty decent. This will be my Super 7 version. All right, so why is Hasbro doing this? Why is Hasbro making this plastic-free packaging? They say it's for the environment. It's not going to make nearly the environmental impact as it will as a negative sales impact for them. And cost increase now because they're going to have to send a bunch of replacement figures out because things get screwed up, like Diana. Which I think she's a great figure. But I didn't order 2 of her. And then the other thing is that they're saving labor at the factory. The factory's saving labor. They can bid a lower price. But they're still charging us $25 instead of this should have been a $20 figure. And these figures don't have the articulation, all that. I'm going to save that for my review of the Dungeons & Dragons. And then you pay $35 for Sergeant Slaughter. Everything turned out okay. But for the most part, for what I see so far, just handling them for a couple minutes. But all these issues, it's not worth it. In my opinion, it's just not worth it at all to go plastic free. So we just look for collecting nightmares going forward. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Did it blow your mind seeing Diana in Hank's box, or did somebody else already get that? Is this an ongoing issue? Let me know in the comments below. Like and subscribe. Ted your hair out.